afternoon, everyone. It is July 9th, 2024. I am aware this is a Tuesday, and I am aware that I missed 2 Mondays, which is why I am going through everything today. It's been a little crazy. Been doing lots of whatnot sales, doing really well on those. So I have been just, and then, it's summer and trying to do stuff with my kids, keep them entertained, especially my twins, because they'll be in kindergarten this fall and will be a slave to the school schedule. So definitely trying to cram as much fun as possible. So without further ado, let's go through the last 2 weeks of sales on eBay. We will start with this Victoria's Secret's perfume. I actually picked this up at a garage sale with several Victoria's Secret perfumes for 50 cents a piece. They were all full, or appeared full. This one sold really quickly for $23.99. So that was pretty awesome profit coming from a 50-cent purchase. Next, we have this Star Trek game. This is a part of that palette, that box of software, old PC software and games that I got at a garage sale for $12 for the whole box. I am definitely in the profit zone on that. So this is free money at this point. This one sold for $10.99 free shipping. This is a Kendall Jackson wine opener. Nothing fancy here. I just noticed that it was Kendall Jackson, which is a wine I always enjoy. And this was actually found in the Goodwill bins, so it didn't weigh a whole lot, so relatively cheap. It's $1.67 a pound at my local Goodwill at the bin stores. So probably paid less than $1 for this and sold it for $9.99 free shipping. This is one of several Bath & Body Works lotions and creams that I pick up. I always pick up this stuff $2 and under at garage sales, or if I find them in the Goodwill bins and they're full, they're 25 cents at my local Goodwill. So tops that I paid for this would be $2, turned around and sold it for $13.49 about a week after listing it. So not too bad on that. Next item that I sold on eBay is this Xbox 360 game. This came from a box of video games that I got. They were all like $1 a piece. Plucked out the ones that sold for 10 or more. This was one of them. This is the Game of the Year edition for the Xbox 360. Since this has sold, the buyer complained about it being moldy. If you look in the corner, the upper left-hand corner of the case, you can see kind of a dark spot. It did have some water damage, but the disc itself, as you can see, was flawless. Everything else was fine. I offered a return. He didn't send it, left negative feedback. You know how the story goes. So is what it is, but did sell this for $13.99, and I did send him a label to send it back, and he never did, so I'm not quite sure what I'm out on that. Either way, it happens, not a big deal. Moving on. This was all pure profit. These were some of the games that were in that box of PC games. I lotted up I think the regular Sims games together. I think those already sold, and these are the Sims 2 games. It was 12 different discs with the expansion packs and the original game itself. This one took a little longer to sell. Let's see, 3 months? But it did sell at $79.99. And since I'm already in the profit zone on that box, this was also pure profit. Next item that sold on eBay is this lot of 2 Equestria girls, the My Little Pony franchise. They did have the clothes. They're kind of creepy looking. The hair needed some TLC. These were Goodwill bin finds, and I probably paid about 50 cents for them. They are clean. I did mention that, just the hair needed TLC, and the 2 of these sold for $9.99 free shipping. Next item that sold on eBay is this a Minecraft Hallmark ornament. This one I found in the Goodwill bins. I was a little sad to see that Steve over here came off. I mean, I could have probably hot glued it or took some like super glue and plopped it back on, but I wanted full disclosure on it, so I did take the picture with him off. If someone chooses to glue him back on, that's on them, and that's fine. They can do that. I just didn't want it to look like I was trying to deceive anybody. So I did note that, and got this back in January. It finally sold for $9.99. This plush and another Teen Titans one sold. These I got at a garage sale. I want to say I paid 50 cents a piece for these. This one sold for $12.49, and then let me show you the other one. This one here is the other one. Again, they were at the same garage sale. I think I had picked up several different ones. I think they're all sold though, now that I think about it. But this one is also a Teen Titans Go plush, 10 inches tall, and this one sold for $9.99. So between the two, I had a $1 investment, so not too shabby on that. This item sold relatively quickly, which I expected. I got this at a garage sale. I paid $5 for it, but it was brand new with the tags. And upon further inspection, which I didn't catch when I bought it, I found out it was a loungefly, and I know how popular those are because of their quality. So I was super stoked to pick this up for $5 and then turn around and sold it about 2-3 weeks later, not bad, for $35.99. I had a few sets of these. I had picked these up at my local Amazon bin store for $1 a piece. So I did have $2 invested in this. The other sets sold for more. This was just the last set that I had. So I did mark it down to $9.99 and it sold. Another Bath & Body Works fragrance spray. This one was mostly full, and it is the Marshmallow Pumpkin Latte scent. And this one, like I said, would have paid tops $2 for it, and it sold for $13.99. Next item up, I'm actually kind of shocked I listed this, maybe because I tend to avoid selling candles or wax melts or anything along that line during the summer. My biggest fear is that somebody's going to order it. It's some retired, discontinued scent. It ends up sitting on somebody's porch in Arizona on a 100-degree day, and then I get a return because it melted. So I'm not quite sure why I had posted this. I don't know. I don't know what I do some days. But anywho, it did sell. This I listed back in April. It is a balsam and clove scent that is retired. It was just the 7-ounce jar. It wasn't like the big 3-wick jars, but it still sold for $16.49. I'm guessing I got this probably at a garage sale. I don't specifically remember though. This is a polo shirt that I got at my local thrift store on half price day. It was back in January. I'm not quite sure how much I paid for it. Probably a couple bucks. I picked it up because it was a PGA tour, and from my understanding, that stuff sells very well. But this one did sit for a long period of time and only sold for $9.99. Next item that sold on eBay is this Bath & Body Works hand soap. I typically do not pick up the hand soaps, but I did grab this at a garage sale. It was brand new and still had the plastic wrap on it. And the lady was selling it for $1. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and it sold for $9.99 with free shipping. I picked up these Build-A-Bears at a garage sale for $1 a piece. They had their outfits on them. They're Elsa and Anna. I took those off because I always sell those separate. But these are the bears themselves with the Elsa and Anna on the feet. They were in great shape. The only thing was on the back, you can see here that the string holding the purple bear together is loose, but that's an easy fix. What's weird about this is I had a watcher on it. So I sent out an offer for, I believe it was $21.99. They accepted it, and then they didn't pay. And then I sent them a message like, go ahead and pay so I can send this out. And then they messaged me and said, make me a good offer. And I was very confused because I'm like, I already made you a good offer and you accepted it and you haven't paid it, so go ahead and pay so I can ship. And then they were not responsive. So I ended up canceling this out, and it has since been relisted for the $23.99, and it has not yet sold. Here is a lot of 46 Barbie dolls. You know me, I strip them off for the clothes because I sell the clothes separate on Whatnot auctions or on eBay auctions. And so this was a array of different dolls. This one I think, no, I didn't put this one on auction. I thought maybe this was an auction one. This one sold outright for the $59.99. And I forget how much it cost to ship. It did cost quite a bit. I mean, I still came out ahead. I typically pick these up in the Goodwill bins, or sometimes if I'm buying a bag of, say, Barbie dolls in a thrift store and they got them bagged with the other ones, and it's like I only wanted the Monster High dolls out of there. These are just all the extra dolls that I end up with. So I was really pleased to get 60 out of this batch. I've had this item for a while too. I contemplated keeping this for myself because I do love Under Armour clothes. But as you can see here, it was a $50 shirt, new with tags. It did sit for quite some time. I listed this back in January, so I don't know exactly why this took so long to go, especially being Under Armour and being new with tags. And then it sold for $12.49. I probably paid like $4 or $5 for this because it was new with tags, and I probably thought it was going to sell a little faster. So I probably broke even on this. Here is another Bath and Body Works lotion. As always, probably topped out at $2 on this. This is not a retired scent, but even then, the $11.49 was a pretty good price. This is another item that I feel like I've had forever. It was listed back in January. These came in a bag at the Goodwill bins. They were all Twizzlers related for the LOL. She had her outfit and all her accessories, so I felt this was worth listing by itself. Yes, it took some time, and I only made $9.99, but I really didn't pay a whole lot for it, so I'm still ahead of the game. It just took forever to sell. This is a Disney store cap. It says more Disney, more dogs. It is an adult hat from, it looks like the Disney parks. I got this at my local thrift store. It was in great shape. I did pay a couple bucks for it. I did expect it to go for more considering what comps were, but it did sell for $12.49, so I probably just made a couple bucks on this. Here is one of my auctions. This is what I was thinking of with the last batch, but the last batch was a buy it now. But this one was an auction. I put $24.99 for shipping, and I think I started at a penny and let it ride. And it did end up selling for $15.50. I feel like this is kind of just pure profit because these were just extras that I ended up with. And here is the other one that sold. This one had some of the smaller Kelly dolls and more of the mermaids and the modern dolls. It even had a Descendants doll in there with full clothing. So this one I also did a penny auction with $24.99 shipping, and it sold for $10.50. I believe I picked this up at a garage sale in a free box because let's be honest, no one's really using these diskette labels anymore, but it was Avery and it was sealed. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and sure enough, it wasn't listed for super long. Like what? It was up for a month. And it sold for $14.99. So I think I for shipping, it was just a couple bucks, put it in a bubble mailer. That was an easy sell from the free box. I'm pretty sure I mentioned a garage sale, or sorry, not a garage sale, an estate sale that I had gone to where in the basement they had a bunch of DVDs, and many of them were sealed. I didn't spend all day digging through them, but I did find a few that looked like they were worth grabbing. This was one of them. This is Glorious Films, The Promise of the Messiah, an animated musical. Never heard of it, never seen it. Brand new, sealed, and sold for $10.99. I was on the hunt to pick up some Disney Adorables in larger lots in an attempt to sell some on Whatnot. Unfortunately, I was not too pleased at how well they did on Whatnot. I feel like I didn't make near the profit I do on my Littlest Pet Shops, which I can still source for relatively cheap, but then they sell sometimes for $10, $15 a piece. That was not the case with these. So I said, all right, cut my losses. I think what I had left invested in them was like $140. So I went ahead and listed the rest for $219. It did sell. However, the guy that purchased it said he put in the wrong payment. He wanted to use his PayPal instead of some other one. So I canceled it and relisted it, and he has yet to purchase it again. So this has been relisted and is up for sale for the $219.99. This is a watch that I got with a few others that have sold already at a garage sale. They were 50 cents a piece. This one, it had these monsters on it. It was just kind of cool, but it's not a brand of monsters or anything to my understanding. But it was just kind of neat, kind of different, and it was 50 cents. So I grabbed it, and it sold for $12.49. These took a lot longer to sell than I expected. These were actually listed back in October of 2023. Hugo Boss 3 ties. They're kind of the older style, not super modern looking, which might have been what took so long, even though the brand name is a strong seller. Ties. You know, I really don't spend a whole lot on ties. But it sold for $9.99 for the 3 of them. I've had this guy for a while. I think I purchased him with the intent of making a keychain out of him, and then I found out he himself was actually worth some money. nothing too extravagant. I listed this back in February and it finally sold on July 2nd for $9.99. Didn't pay a whole lot for it. I believe this was a Goodwill Bins find. Next item that sold on eBay is a lot of 23 boxcar children books. These I listed on June 26th and they sold quickly on June 2nd. It's just several, there's a few duplicates in here actually, but it is just some good old chapter books that I have been lotting up from either thrift stores or the Goodwill Bins. Our Goodwill Bins does 3 for $1 on books. So did not have a lot invested in this, and it sold for $49.99. And thanks to it being books, it sold a lot cheaper for shipping, thanks to Media Mail. I picked up this and a few of his vintage Build-A-Bear friends back at a garage sale early spring. Let's see, I listed this on April 29th. I went to put these on Whatnot to see if anyone wanted them on Whatnot for $5 a piece, but no one was interested, so I did list them on eBay, and this one sold for $9.99. Another Bath & Body Works product. This is a body wash, Japanese Cherry Blossom. It is not retired, but it still sold for $13.99. This Xbox One video game of the Lego Hobbit. This one is one of the games that I got in my batch for $1 a piece. This one was listed complete in box with a manual, case, and game, and it sold for $11.99. And yet another Bath & Body Works product. I will say I have hit several garage sales with these, and so I did get quite a bit of Bath & Body Works products, but again, they sell every time they sell. And this one is Twisted Peppermint, which is actually a winter scent, but it's sold in summer for $9.99. I've been purchasing larger lots of Littlest Pet Shop animals to sell on Whatnot. I've been turning them and flipping them pretty well over there. But I did come across this authentic, savvy, the wiener dog, the top one there. So that one is like $150. It's authentic. And then I had these other two. The lighter one typically goes for about $50, and then the decorated one goes for about $20. So you're looking at $220 worth of dogs here. Had I listed them separately, I went ahead and put them all together. I took very close photos because LPS collectors are very picky about their pets, which I have found on Whatnot, which is why I do enjoy selling on Whatnot because I can point out any blemishes. But with these, because of their value, I didn't want them to sell for 10, 15 bucks on Whatnot. So I did list these. I ended up with a crap ton of watchers on it right off the bat. And then it sold same day for the $199.99. So I put the profit of this towards what I have invested in LPS for Whatnot as well, because these did come from lots that I purchased specifically for Whatnot. But yeah, I didn't want to let these go for way too cheap. That would have been stupid of me. Picked up this guy at a garage sale for $1. I know Five Nights at Freddy's stuff goes really well. My daughter does collect some of it, but not all of it. She kind of has her favorites. So I picked this up. She declined wanting it. So he ended up on eBay. Listed him in June. He sold here in July, and he sold for $18.49. I've had this for quite some time. This is a discontinued movie from PBS, The Lost Year in Iraq. And it's not only discontinued, but this was a brand new and sealed DVD. I got this in the Goodwill bin, so I didn't pay a whole lot. I know I had it upwards of like $40 because there were no other comps on it. So I started high, started marking down, and it finally sold at $9.99. My Fisher Price Little People always do really well. I have learned, though, to pluck out the special ones, which often include the Disney ones. So here we have several Disney princesses. We have Minnie and Mickey Mouse. We have Daisy Duck. We have Toy Story. So I put these all together as Disney only ones. There's 25 of them, and it sold for $39.99. Another Bath & Body Works. This one had a little bit used, so I did note that in the auction. You can see where the water line is there. But I think this one is discontinued or retired. Either way, like I said, wouldn't have paid more than $2 for this, and it sold for $14.49. I myself use this El Maquillage. I literally don't even know how to pronounce it. Anyways, I love the Power Camo stuff for my rosacea. It covers the redness. But so and it's like $50 for the power camo. It's crazy. So I'm well aware of how expensive this stuff is, but how well it works. I was at a garage sale. They had this box with a brand new Woke Up Like This foundation and a brand new brush. They were sealed. They were in the original box that was mailed to them. $5, guys. The lady wanted $5 for it. So I bought it and turned around and flipped it for $59.99. It was up for just a few weeks, so it did sell relatively fast. These were found in the Goodwill bins, so I didn't pay a whole lot for them. My kids actually had these. These things are awesome. They were from IKEA, so they were super cheap, but they hold up so well. And then I found out when my kids were done with them that they actually sell very well on eBay. So found these in the Goodwill bins, and I snagged them, turned around and sold them for $14.99. Next item that's sold on eBay is this USAopoly, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a Yahtzee game, but it is themed. And this is sealed, brand new in the box, and never opened by Hasbro. And I picked it up at a garage sale. I want to say I paid $3 for this. I want to say $3. Either way, sold relatively quickly for $18.99. This is another Five Nights at Freddy's plush. I believe I got this at the same sale as that Foxy one. Didn't have tags, but it was in like new condition. Paid 50 cents, I believe, for this, or $1. And it sold for $9.99, so not too bad. This is another Littlest Pet Shop. I had totally lowballed somebody on a lot of LPS stuff, and they took it. I was expecting a counter offer, which I would have been okay with, but they went ahead and took my very, very low offer. In this lot of animals, they also had this brand new box of LPS. These are like the little miniature ones, though. These aren't full-size pets. But I went ahead and just plucked this out and decided to list this here on eBay instead of selling it over on Whatnot for like $5. So I did include this into my Whatnot profit as well. This sold for $21.99. The lot that I got this in, I think I paid $60, and it came with a whole bunch of pets and some sets, some play sets, and this. So this right here took care of a big chunk of the cost of that lot. Was a little surprised at how long it took this to go. So my kiddos love the Transformers. He's a little hard on them though. And we do find him in the Goodwill bins a lot. He plays with them. He kind of breaks them apart sometimes, and then we get new ones. So we went through all of his Transformers and picked out the ones he didn't like as much. And I was going to put them on the garage sale, and then I'm like, well, it looks like, you know, broken Transformers actually sell on eBay. So I went ahead and lotted these all up, put them up. I did $35 for shipping, and then I just did a penny auction. It went several times with no bidders. And then here I had a bidding war between a few people. And so it ended up selling for $5.50. I just shipped this out today. I actually went ahead and did UPS for it because it was considerably cheaper than USPS. And I want to say the shipping ended up being like $24. So I didn't come out super ahead on this one, but I do feel since they were broken, this was probably better than trying to sell them at my garage sale. And last but not least, I sold this Mickey Mouse bank. He sold today, this morning. He's just like a cute little bank. Nothing crazy. He's plastic. He does have the bottom part, which you always find these banks without the bottom. So that was kind of cool. I don't know. Did it have a year on it? I don't think it had a year on it. It was kind of cool. I think I got this at the Goodwill bins. So I probably paid 50 cents or something. And it did sell relatively quickly for $9.99, even though the market for Disney banks is completely oversaturated on eBay. I'm surprised somebody found it, unless they were specifically looking for this one. So this one I did make a little bit of money on. So sorry again for skipping a week and then a day because life got a little crazy there. But I have definitely been upping my game in LPS over on Whatnot. I'm trying to get it where I'm doing 2 shows a week. I am definitely in the profit on that and still have a bunch of inventory that I'm going to go on either Thursday or Friday to sell more of. I did a cat and dog only show yesterday that went really, really well, mainly because a lot of people love the main 5s, which are dogs and cats. So I had asked my customers, hey, would it be cool if I did just dogs and cats for a show? And I think everybody but one person was game for it. So I went ahead and did that, and it was a very profitable show. I was very pleased with it. I was going to go longer on it, but unfortunately Whatnot started glitching on the auction part. And it started messing up my numbers, and it started choking on people bidding, and I'm like, this is making me nervous. I think I'm going to get off. So I did. I could have gone on longer. I had finished the dogs and cats, though, and I was doing some miniatures when it started acting up. So Whatnot got glitchy on me, maybe lost me a little money that day, but I'm looking at getting on again this week and selling regular pets, minis, and accessories. So have been focusing on that. And I haven't listed anything new on eBay for a week or two either. So hopefully I can get some more stuff up and still ramp up my LPS shows and be in the green. So that is all I got. I am shooting for next Monday to do the next one, and then the following week I will be on vacation. So it'll probably be a week for the next one, and then 2 weeks again for the following video. My kids start school very soon, and so then I will definitely have more time to do these. It's just the summer gets a little crazy. So all I got for today. You guys have a great week.